Something strange happens every day in homes around the world, and most people never stop to question it. A dog hears a command like sit or stay and responds almost instantly, as if it understands the human language being spoken. A cat standing just a few feet away hears the same voice, the same sound, the same human calling its name, and calmly walks in the opposite direction. At first glance, the conclusion seems obvious. Dogs listen, cats ignore. Dogs are trainable, cats are stubborn. Dogs must be smarter. But that assumption may be hiding a much deeper truth about how animals think. Because when scientists began testing the intelligence of cats and dogs under controlled conditions, the results revealed something unexpected. The question was never simply which animal is smarter. The real question was far more complicated. What kind of intelligence are we actually measuring? For thousands of years, humans have lived alongside both dogs and cats, watching their behavior, interpreting their actions, and forming beliefs about their abilities. Dogs became companions in hunting, guarding, and herding. Cats became silent hunters of pests, quietly navigating homes and farms with independence and precision. Over time, those roles shaped how people perceived them. Dogs became known as loyal partners, eager to please and easy to train. Cats developed a reputation for independence, unpredictability, and mystery. Yet beneath those reputations lies an entirely different story about intelligence. Research suggests that intelligence in animals is not a single trait. It is a complex combination of memory, social awareness, problem-solving, emotional sensitivity, and the ability to adapt to changing environments. When scientists began studying these abilities more carefully, they discovered that dogs and cats approach intelligence in fundamentally different ways. Dogs evolved alongside humans. For thousands of years, they were selected and bred for their ability to work with people. Herding dogs needed to respond to subtle gestures. Hunting dogs needed to follow commands during the chase. Guard dogs needed to recognize threats and protect territory. Over generations, these pressures shaped the canine brain to become highly responsive to human communication. Studies indicate that dogs are unusually skilled at reading human cues such as pointing, eye direction, and tone of voice. When a person points toward an object, many dogs instinctively follow the gesture, something even some primates struggle to do. This ability makes dogs appear exceptionally intelligent in human environments. They seem to understand commands, emotions, and intentions. Some research suggests that well-trained dogs can learn the meaning of dozens, sometimes even hundreds of words associated with actions, objects, or people. But this type of intelligence comes with a specific focus. It is social intelligence shaped around cooperation with humans. Cats followed a very different evolutionary path. Unlike dogs, cats were never heavily bred to work with people. Their relationship with humans developed more quietly. Early agricultural communities attracted rodents, and rodents attracted small wildcats. Those cats that tolerated human presence found an abundant food source. Humans benefited from their hunting abilities. A partnership formed, but it was a loose one. Cats were never required to follow commands or coordinate tasks with humans in the same way dogs were. Their survival depended more on stealth, patience, memory, and independent decision-making. As a result, feline intelligence evolved along a different direction. Studies suggest that cats possess strong spatial memory, allowing them to remember locations of food sources, hiding places, and pathways through territory. A cat can navigate familiar spaces with remarkable precision, even after long periods away. Many cat owners notice that their pet seems to know exactly where objects are kept, which rooms contain food, and which doors lead outside. This ability is not accidental. In the wild, remembering locations can mean the difference between catching prey and going hungry. So when scientists attempt to compare cat and dog intelligence using the same types of tests, something interesting happens. Dogs often perform better in tasks that involve following human instructions. Cats sometimes excel in tasks that require independent problem-solving or memory of environments. The challenge is that traditional intelligence tests were designed with cooperation in mind. Many experiments involve asking an animal to follow a human gesture or retrieve an object when directed. Dogs often succeed in these tasks because their brains evolved to interpret human cues. Cats may appear uninterested, but that does not necessarily mean they lack the ability. In some studies, cats simply choose not to participate in tasks that do not benefit them directly. Researchers studying feline behavior often report that designing experiments for cats can be surprisingly difficult. Unlike dogs, cats rarely feel motivated to perform actions simply because a human asks them to. This difference can easily be mistaken for lower intelligence. But consider another perspective. Imagine two students given the same test. One eagerly follows every instruction, motivated by praise and approval. The other quietly evaluates the situation and decides the task is not worth the effort. The results might look very different, even if both individuals are capable of solving the problem. Animal cognition researchers have begun to recognize this challenge. Some evidence suggests that cats are capable of learning associations, recognizing their names, and responding to familiar voices, even when they choose not to react outwardly. Observations show that many cats subtly move their ears or shift their attention when hearing their names spoken. They may understand more than they reveal. Another area where cats and dogs differ is emotional communication. Dogs often display emotions in highly visible ways. A wagging tail, eager eyes, and excited movement clearly signal enthusiasm or affection. Dogs evolved to communicate openly within social groups. Cats communicate differently. Their signals are more subtle. A slow blink, a gentle head bump, or a soft purr can convey trust and affection. Understanding these signals requires careful observation. Yet research suggests that cats form strong bonds with their human companions. Behavioral studies indicate that many cats develop attachment patterns similar to those observed between human infants and caregivers. In unfamiliar situations, cats often seek comfort from their owners, using them as a source of safety and reassurance. This emotional connection reveals another layer of intelligence. Recognizing individuals, remembering relationships, and responding to emotional cues all require complex cognitive processing. Dogs, however, display extraordinary sensitivity to human emotions. Experiments indicate that dogs can often distinguish between happy and angry facial expressions. Some dogs appear to respond to changes in human mood, offering comfort when their owners appear distressed. Experts believe this ability may be linked to thousands of years of close cooperation between humans and dogs. Over time, dogs that could better interpret human emotions may have had an advantage in forming bonds and receiving care. Cats may also detect emotional signals, though their responses are less dramatic. Some research suggests cats can recognize the voices of their owners and distinguish them from unfamiliar voices. They may adjust their behavior based on the tone and rhythm of human speech. The difference lies not necessarily in what they perceive, but in how they choose to respond. Intelligence in animals also includes problem-solving ability. Dogs often rely on humans for guidance when faced with a challenge. In certain experiments, when dogs cannot access food inside a container, they frequently look toward nearby humans for help, making eye contact as if asking for assistance. Cats, on the other hand, may continue exploring independently, pawing at objects or attempting alternative approaches. These behaviors reflect two different survival strategies. Dogs evolved as cooperative hunters within social groups, where communication and teamwork increased success. Cats evolved primarily as solitary hunters, relying on stealth and patience rather than collaboration. Both strategies require intelligence, but they prioritize different skills. Memory also plays a role in understanding animal cognition. Dogs demonstrate strong associative memory, allowing them to connect words, actions, and outcomes. This ability makes training possible. A dog learns that a specific sound or gesture predicts a reward or activity. Cats appear to rely more heavily on spatial and contextual memory. They remember locations, routines, and patterns within their environment. Many cats quickly learn feeding times and anticipate daily schedules, arriving at the kitchen before food is even prepared. These patterns suggest that both animals possess sophisticated, cognitive abilities, though expressed in different ways. The idea that one species is simply smarter than the other may overlook the complexity of intelligence itself. Human intelligence includes many forms: language, logic, creativity, emotional awareness, and social understanding. Comparing cats and dogs using a single measurement may be like comparing musicians and mathematicians using the same exam. Both possess intelligence, but express through different strengths. Recent discussions among animal behavior experts often emphasize that intelligence should be evaluated within the ecological context of each species. In other words, how effectively does an animal solve the problems it naturally encounters in its environment? By this measure, cats and dogs are both remarkably successful. Dogs excel at interpreting human behavior, cooperating in tasks, and forming deep social bonds. Cats excel at navigating environments, hunting with precision, and adapting quietly to complex surroundings. Both animals have survived and thrived alongside humans for thousands of years. Perhaps the most fascinating discovery is how much animals understand about us. Dogs watch human faces constantly, reading gestures, posture, and tone. Cats observe quietly, studying routines and patterns. Each species gathers information in its own way, building an internal understanding of the human world. That understanding shapes their behavior in ways that often go unnoticed. A dog that waits by the door before a walk, or a cat that appears at the exact moment dinner is served, is responding to patterns learned through careful observation. These moments reveal a subtle truth. Intelligence is not always loud, obvious, or dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet, observant, patient. When scientists compare cats and dogs, the results do not always produce a clear winner. Instead, they reveal a deeper insight about how intelligence works across species. Different environments produce different kinds of minds. Dogs evolve to think with humans. Cats evolve to think for themselves. Both approaches require remarkable cognitive abilities. Understanding this difference can change how people view their pets. The dog that eagerly waits for commands is demonstrating social intelligence, shaped by cooperation. The cat that silently observes from across the room may be displaying a form of awareness that is less obvious, but equally complex. Recognizing these differences allows humans to appreciate the unique ways animals experience the world. Rather than asking which animal is smarter, a more meaningful question begins to emerge. What kind of intelligence are we witnessing when we live alongside these animals every day? The answer may not lie in a simple comparison. Instead, it reveals something extraordinary about the diversity of minds that share our homes. Dogs remind us of the power of connection, cooperation, and emotional understanding. Cats remind us of the quiet brilliance of observation, independence, and patience. Both perspectives offer insight into the many ways intelligence can exist, and perhaps that realization is the most surprising discovery of all. The smartest animal may not be the one that follows commands or solves puzzles the fastest. It may be the one that understands its world so well that it never needed the test in the first place.